Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eddie Marcus, again, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. I'm out here working on a snow blower that I picked up at a yard sale right after this winter, well, spring, should I say. And I got one on the outside that I got a sign saying, free, take it. It's a little older than this one, and this is indeed an old model. The other one is older, but maybe somebody can use it. I was using it and giving it away out there free. But ladies and gentlemen, the reason that I'm bringing this to you at this moment in time is because a message has been made clearer to me. And I find myself, as I always do, having to come to you and share with you what I've been given. Now, I want to kind of give you some ease to those of you who listen to me today about what's happening around us. And I'm going to give it to you from a perspective of a person who want to speak and be known as can speak for God. Now, I realize each of us got our own opinion about any and everything. That is a God-given right. But I want you to also to know that there are some of us out here who can talk to you about God, and there are others who can't, even if they say they can. Now, I claim to be one that can, and you can challenge me at any time that you want to. You can challenge me. In fact, I invite it. But I want you to know that there is a place for good people, and there's a place for bad people. And there's a place for free people. You have heard it said that even in heaven, corruption got up there. And you also heard it said, you don't know if it's true, I don't know if it's true, but I've heard it said, that the angels are supposed to be perfect. But even in that perfection, if that is true, it got sideswiped, slapped, brought down. And so that which was not legitimate was kicked out. We even heard that in Adam and Eve's story, in that garden. That was a time when that story represented perfection. But something happened. Pow, pow, slap. And that was kicked out. And so here we are today on this earth. Here we are, all of us. And what is unique about everybody that has come on this earth? And that is what? Well, there are many things that are unique, but one thing is that we have choice. We are not here bound to do good. We're not here bound to do evil. Good has its consequences. Evil has its consequences. And you and I and every human being on the face of the earth got choice. Now, in our efforts to express our choice, some of us amongst us are good. And there are those amongst us who are evil. And we live here in this same big bowl of soup, if you want to call it that. We call it earth or hell. We all live here together. And we all got basic essentials for survival, which are, you know what they are. You need food. You need clothing. You need shelter. You need education. You need health care. And everybody claims to want to live in peace, want to be prosperous, want freedom, you want joy, and you want your dreams to come true. That, my friends, is what we call heavenly. That is what the angels, that is where a place designed for people who want that. That it is only for people who want that, people who will not settle for anything else other than that. These are the ones who we call free people. You see, you amongst yourselves know who you refer to as evil people. Even when you're talking about politics, you're talking about not good, bad. You know what you consider that as being. And you know what considers as being good. So what we have going on is the swaying going on, given an opportunity to make a choice. You've heard the expression about wide is the gate, or that leads to, wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to total destruction. You also heard that narrow, straight is the way and narrow is the gate that leads to life, and few there be that find it. So what it is saying to you in the system in which you live here in America, it's basically saying that there are things that's happening that causes destruction in this country. It is represented through the reality that there are those who live good and enjoy life in America, in its democracy, under its capitalist systems. There are those who do not enjoy that. Some enjoy it not to that degree, others even to a lesser degree. In it, you have a result of failure for adequate education, poor healthcare systems, housing and food. You know what that's like. And all of the destruction that's going on with the rains and the storms and the hurricanes and everything being blown up, burned up, torn down. People still arguing about who's got power, who's right, who's wrong, who's going to vote for this, who's going to vote for that. I got this, I got that, and all going on right around us. And it's a representation of what's happening when you got evil and good compromising with itself. You got evil and good compromising with itself. But that's the way of the world. Now, what can make a difference is that there are those who, my friends, I say are free. Now, what do I mean when I say they are free? I mean they are, you've heard it said as being born again. By some miracle that we can't explain, but it's explainable to those who know. These, my friend, have been awakened, and they can see the evilness of the world. They can see what the manipulation by evil over good and good trying to play the part of being better. All a part of a failure to know the truth. The truth is the straight and narrow. The straight and narrow is you realize, well, the ones who have realized it is giving a message to you. And who are you? You are America. You are the people of the world. You need to be evangelized. What I mean by that? You need people who know the truth to speak the truth and walk according to the truth before your very eyes. Now, what does that mean? That means by exposing the evil, as I was indicating there, for what it is. But not just exposing it, but at the same time revealing to the public the refined, the special kind of way that gives you liberty and freedom, that gives you life, the straight and narrow. Live it before the people. Now, there are consequences. There are consequences for the choices that you make. Here again, it's all about the choice. You see, America, if you really look at it, is not a place, and I'm talking America right now because if anybody's going to hear me, you're probably going to be America. It's not a place for godly people. America is not a place for godly people. And I can say that with the assurance that no place on the world, on the earth where people are together, even those little groups that have set themselves out and want to separate themselves from a world and be a religious sect, there is nothing godly about that. You see, God is love. God is love. Pure O.D. love. And if you can see evil and its pain and suffering that's brought on people, if you can see trying to be good and go along with it and causing that better, the pain and suffering still existed. If you could see this, why would you want to be a part of it? You would want to be a part of it if you didn't know any way other. If you knew no other way, something that's better. Something that basically you really want to be sure of. You see, you talk about the straight and narrow, you are sure. Why? If no more than by faith. Faith, if no more than by faith. Faith will save you. Faith will allow you to walk on water. Faith will allow you to make the blind see, the dumb to speak, the lame to walk. Faith will do it, I'm telling you. You don't believe it, I know it. It's not about you believing it. You got to know this stuff. Faith is knowing it and acting like you know it. Because if you're wrong, God is challenged to come through for you. Faith is a guarantee. Faith is a guarantee. But it got to be, my friend, for God to come through for you, it's going to have to be godly. Otherwise, the other framework is going to work. It's going to come through for you. So what I'm basically saying is that America is not a place for godly folk. So how do you determine if there are any godly people in America? Well, if there are any godly people in America, they are not going to be trying to use the other people to enhance their own. They're not going to be trying to get from you so they can look good, like a lot of people do. What they're going to be doing is telling you why you don't have. They're going to be showing you how to get. They're going to show you where the suffering comes from. They're going to show you how to repair it. And in so doing, they will be glorifying God. Where the sun, you can't see the sun. Ooh, you can't see it right now, but it's magnificent. But this is what they would be glorifying, the Father of the Son. Now, how are the people going to respond to it? It doesn't really matter. You do that because this is how love operates. And you are now in a new lane. You are on the straight and narrow. You're not trying to get that big, nice job or that football contract. You might want to love playing football, but you're not trying to get a football contract so you can have a $30 million home with a gym built in it, with a 17-car garage built in it, and all of the bathrooms. What? Saying you somebody? Hey, baby, this is all worldly. There's nothing wrong with it except it's worldly. What do I mean when I say it's worldly? It's brought to you in a situation where you can have it and others might desire it and can't. So what happens that you benefit and they can't? Well, I play back. I'm an athlete. Well, man, so here I'm a ditch digger. I want a swimming pool in my house. Why can't I? I mean, you got a job, I got a job. So that means somebody's being manipulated, somebody's being controlled, or the system is being manipulated, the system is being controlled. What I'm really saying to you is this: you can see that stuff. And when you start exposing that stuff, here is where the test comes from. This is now the test that some call Meshach. I might be saying it wrong, but you know what I'm talking about. Abednego. This is the stuff when people talk about Daniel in the lion's den. Joseph. You know this story about Joseph. This is when they talk about David with Goliath. You know. Oh, my friends. But you don't have to go back that far, because you might not even believe that's true. But that you can verify it happened with Gandhi. He went on that cross just like Jesus. Jesus might be fictitious to some, but even if it is, he was on the cross. Martin Luther King was on that cross. Malcolm X was on that cross. That's that straight and narrow. John Brown was on that cross. Gandhi on that cross. Why were they killed? Because they stood up for what was right. They stood up for what was right. Millie saw a deranged man in the White House threaten the nation. This man has a moral compass and decided we better get prepared for this crazy man to do something that we're not for. And now the evil portion of America says he should resign. Even those who say they're part of the good, who says that we're under the law. And because the law says he was violating what the military would readily permit, so he should resign. That's good, working with evil, to say that the moral compass that this man expressed by saying, let's prepare to make sure that that doesn't happen. But because of that partnership, that compromise, good and evil, says you should resign. Woo! What about the two people who stood up for telling the truth? When they saw all of these people, saw these things, and people who saw themselves now stand up and say it didn't happen. Straight up lying before the whole world, before themselves. They lying when the camera's right on a monitor. They can see themselves saying something different. They still saying it. Lying. And some people, oh, we're good. We might not be free, but we're good. They are lying. It didn't happen like that. They are lying. And what did happen to them for telling the truth? They should be put out of the party, put out of certain positions. Why? For telling the truth. Now that's good. That's the compromise between good and evil. The moral thing is to do the right thing. What is the right thing? The right thing is that which works for all, that which is common for every last one of you. And we just got through mentioning it. The same thing that is divine. The same thing is food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, and anything else that you can imagine that works for all of you, the people. And you want the benefit of that to be peace and prosperity and freedom and joy and the fulfillment of your dreams. And the one guarantee is to everybody to be engaged in the process of causing a manifestation of all of these things that are so essential for the survival of mankind. By engaging yourself in that process with your career. Baby, you can't beat that. And you can see that kind of stuff. You can see this is the process of creating heaven on earth, paradise on earth, and you're going to go along and try to go along with John Brown just so you can have a nice house, just so you can drive a nice car, have a big city, think you somebody when people are suffering. How in the world can you sit up and allow this to happen? It's simple. You are either evil, which means you don't know better. Nobody's going to condemn you for being evil. You don't know better. You have been brought up in evil, and you are just a product of being evil. And those of you who try to be a little bit better, calling yourselves good. You're striving along, going right along with the whole program of the systems of the world, trying to be better, thinking that you're better, and wallowing in the same old mud that everybody's wallowing in because you don't want to know the truth. And why don't you want to know the truth? Because the truth is frightening. When you don't know it. But when you know it, it's quite liberating. It's freedom. It's freedom. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I just thought I'd share that with you today. Let me see if this thing will work. You know, I was talking to you. Let me see if this, give me a minute. Just give me a minute, see how this thing gonna do. All right, let's see if we can get the gas to flow here. Got that turned on. Wow, let's hope everything goes good. Let's see. Put it on and run here, the choke over here. And let's see if we can give it a whack. See what happens. All right? Don't let me down, baby. Oops. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. So it's like clockwork. You put it together, put your mind to it, and it's guaranteed. It's guaranteed. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, it's guaranteed. The next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.